Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Mike Armstrong podcast show. And this evening or afternoon, stateside, we're joined by Tigo, who is a producer and a host of the Expert Talk with Tigo show. So, based out of Las Vegas in Nevada, USA. So, how are you doing today, Tigo?
I'm great. How are you?
Yeah, I'm awesome. I'm always awesome. So I'm getting to live my best life, which is what makes me always answer that question with "I'm awesome." So great to have you on my podcast.
It's so great to be here, man. I've been looking forward to this all week, ever since we met earlier this week. I can't believe that I'm on your show, and I'm really honored to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me.
No problem at all. No problem at all. So we might as well start at the beginning then. I think. How did you get into sort of the whole media business and all of that? What experience and expertise did you have that got you to the point you're at now, where you're producing and hosting your own show?
I've been in television production now for about 18 years, and this is the first show that I am actually hosting. I've co hosted a couple of things along the way, a bunch of radio shows, things like that. But really, I'm most comfortable, at least I thought I was most comfortable, behind the cameras, producing, directing, editing, doing all that kind of stuff. 18 years ago, almost 19 years ago, we decided we wanted to do a show or a magazine, a digital magazine called Black Insight Magazine. It was the world's first all digital interactive magazine for African Americans. And I wanted to put in a talk show. I wanted a fashion runway. I wanted concerts. I wanted all this stuff in a PDF. And people thought I was absolutely nuts. We ended up generating over 1.8 million subscribers in less than 2 years. And I found out I went to a cocktail party during the Christmas season in 2004 and ran into this Hollywood producer named Anna Maria Davis. She did Fools Rush In with Matthew Perry and Selma Hayek. And she told me I was a producer. And I said, no, man, I'm a tech geek. I'm not a producer. That's not what I do. And she said, oh, no, you're a producer. I said, I've been computer programming since high school. I code in 16 languages. I'm a geek that likes to be in a dark room and just create stuff. And she broke it down and she said, I'll show you. And for about a year, every other week or so, she took me to Hollywood and put me on multi-million dollar sets and introduced me to friends. And I learned, wow, I'm a producer. And I got the bug and I wanted to do more. So my specialty is pretty much talk shows. I've done music videos and weddings and all kinds of stuff, documentaries, but I really dug into talk shows. I've done a couple of national shows. This is the third national show mine. And now, for 5 years, people bug me. You should host, you should host. No, I'm a director, I'm a producer. In 2019, I said, okay, let's try it. We started in January. We
Yeah,
got 4 shows in the can, and then COVID hit.
yeah, yeah,
And yeah, then we moved everything from our studio into my lovely guest room.
yeah.
And I've been talking to people all over the world for the last year. We're 100 and some odd episodes, nowhere near you. We're 100 and some odd episodes in on the show, and I'm loving it, man. This has truly become my passion.
Yeah, definitely brilliant. Well, yeah, my numbers. I'm more a quantity over quality person at the moment. I'm about just getting myself out there and being seen. I can do the quality. I'm good at quality, but at the moment, I'm going from being unknown to being known, and that takes a big monumental effort. So I'm just about like I'll turn up on any podcast. I'll turn up on any Zoom. I'll turn up on any network. I'll turn up on Clubhouse 24 hours a day. I'll turn up any way you want me to because I'm just getting known and I'm getting known all around the world. It doesn't matter where, it doesn't matter when, it doesn't matter if people remember me for whatever I'm doing, as long as they can remember me. And over time, I'll up the quality level up and they'll know me and they'll know me for the quality I'm delivering. But for now, I'm going through that transformation of becoming unknown to at least people recognizing me or thinking, who's that guy or whatever. Like, you know what I mean? Just being on their wavelength in their frequency in some way, like.
You've got some amazing fans out there. You know, Jennifer Hammond just absolutely loves you. She sings your praises. So whatever you're doing, man, keep doing it because people are loving it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's it. Well, I'm willing to do the things other people aren't prepared to do, so I can get to places other people, won't get to. And I think we all got to go that extra mile. The people who make it in this world, they go that extra mile, and that's where I talk the talk, I walk the walk, and I teach other people to do the same thing, because you can't topple everyone else by doing the same as everyone else. You got to do something different, better, innovative, whatever. So I play the numbers game right now, and then in the future I'll up the quality. But for now, I just want to be everywhere. You know what I mean? And that's why I did 1,000 episodes. I just thought I'm going to up my levels. I originally set my podcast up as Mike Armstrong's weekly podcast show, and then I was like, I can't wait till next week after I did my first episode. So I changed it. I enjoyed it too much. I was like, I can't wait till next week. So,
That's awesome.
yeah.
That's awesome.
So anyway, yes, but it's interesting. I'm interested because I'd love to break it into being like a presenter or do a radio show or whatever, anything really. To me, I'm a communicator. I communicate on every platform there is out there at the moment, except for TV. That's the only one I haven't cracked. I'm pretty much out on everything else. So I'm just like, well, yeah, TV. At some point, I'll do that. Um, so at some point, I'm going to crack TV. But for now, it's just about getting known. And obviously, you've gone through that process yourself of going through from the background, if you like, into the foreground. How obviously, I was going to say, how did you find that transition? But I guess it's been a bit strange for you because of the whole pandemic and stuff. It's not been a normal transition. It's just you're at home and doing what everyone else has had to do, and that's just pivot and work from home. Work out in their guest room, or I work out in my front room. That's my studio, and
Yeah.
we all just making it work however we can at the moment, aren't we?
Yeah, I mean, I was used to having my crew. I mean, it took us years to get to the point where we had a steady crew. And I was used to having my crew. I was loving, the first couple of productions we did where I got to come in and everything was all set up. And I'm like, oh man, I'm getting spoiled. This is, my mother would say, stepping in high cotton. This is really, really nice. And then rip, here comes COVID. And I'm back to doing everything and setting everything up and putting on my production hat and then putting on my director hat. And it's like looking in the mirror going, oh, wait, it's mirrored. It's this, wait, nope, it's this one, trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
And it's been a heck of a journey, but I wouldn't change it. I think it's catapulted me out of my comfort zone into a space that I would never turn around and go back for. And it gave me opportunities because the world shut down, not Las Vegas, not the United States, not the US and Europe, but the world shut down. And because of that, multi-million-dollar shows are being produced just like what we're doing.
Yeah.
And nobody is thinking anything of it. I mean, in 2019, if you did a Zoom show, they'd go, oh, that's cute. You can't put that on regular television. That's nice. But I actually had someone contact me to be on Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm doing this out of my guest room. They're like, we don't care. We want you to come on over. That would have never happened if they
No.
had a full roster of productions going on in 2020. So it's afforded me opportunities that normally the doors would not have been open for a small show like mine.
Yeah, definitely. And it's like people say to me, like, are you going to edit that when like the Wi-Fi drops or whatever? And I say no. I say, like, if BBC and ITV have live news and they get like pauses in their show, that's the show. That's what people expect these days. They expect it to be, a Wi-Fi drop and a bit of a whoa, slow talk, and that's just what people expect. This is the new norm.
Yeah, this is the new normal. That's
Yeah,
exactly
exactly.
it.
And
That's
that's why everyone's
exactly
going
it.
on about authenticity and stuff. It's not authenticity. It's just real. It's just what's happening. Like, you know what I mean? Before, everything was a bit polished and a bit, corporate and all of that. But now people have got used to, you know, phone camera footage and, Zoom footage and all the rest of that. And that's what, a lot of people are saying about authenticity these days. It's just realness. It's just raw,
Mhm.
real, forget about the production value, but just concentrate on the content, really, because it's the content that's
Totally.
key.
Totally. I totally agree with you. And you're getting, you have these niche followings, and before all of COVID, the boomers weren't running to watch Zoom shows. They wanted to watch regular television. They went to movie theaters. They were stuck in their ways. At the end of the boomers, I'm 57 years old, and it's like there's certain things even as a techie that I just didn't do at home. And
No.
now with COVID, you got people in their 80s. My uncle is 88 years old and he watches my show every week. As a matter of fact, he's one of my biggest critics, but he watches my show every week, and that wouldn't have happened if you weren't forced to find another way.
Yeah.
Now we have watch parties to watch our favorite movies. We're not thinking about going to the theater. Now we're watching virtual concerts. We're not thinking about sitting in an arena. All of that has like shifted, and now things are starting to open. I think it's going to be a while before we get back to normal. I don't think it'll ever be the way it was before,
No. No, me
you
neither.
know? Yeah,
Me
I don't
neither.
think it'll ever be the way it was before.
There was a slow transformation towards tech that got sped up really quickly because of the
Yeah,
pandemic. And
yeah,
some stuff will go back to pre-pandemic situations, some things, but the vast majority of it's going to stay in current pandemic situations. So people are just going to carry on as normal because what they're doing now is the new normal. But some people are
exactly.
going to find the best of one and the best of the other and form that into an
Exactly.
even newer normal. So there's going to be all sorts of different sort of balancing acts going on. And, some things will just go, right, I'm reverting straight back. Other things will just be like, I'm staying as it is now. And then there'll be that bit in the
Hmm.
middle, which is going to be, right, well, I like that and I like that, but I like this and I like this. This is now the new shape of things to come,
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like when carburetors used to be in cars, and then nobody ever thought that there would be a day where there wouldn't be a carburetor in a car. And now, they haven't put carburetors in cars for almost 10 years.
Yeah.
You just shift to the new normal. And I think that a lot of concert series will never come back.
No.
I think a lot of shows will never come back, but a new environment is going to be born where it's going to be hybrids of watching concerts from home, and if you want to attend, you go and attend.
Yeah.
And it's going to change the way we do business forever. Kids now know that they can go to school at home or go to school in the school,
Yeah.
and it's like all of it is changing. You can now order food hot, cold, refrigerated, you name it, alcohol, cakes, whatever, and they'll bring it to your door. It's nobody thought of that.
No.
It's amazing. It's catapulted us 5, 10 years down the road.
Yeah.
It's
Was it,
sad that a
yeah.
pandemic had to do that, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
but it really did open up a lot of opportunities, especially for small businesses.
Yeah.
If you can shift, man, the opportunities are insane. I mean, you and I are across the pond from each other,
Yeah.
and we're sitting here talking live,
Yeah.
having a conversation
Yeah.
on a show that could reach thousands, hopefully one day millions
Yeah.
of people down the road. Never would have thought of that a couple of years ago.
No, no, and that's it. A lot of the business meetings are going to be like, before you start, after you thought to do the deal, you had to go and get in a plane and go and do the meeting and shake hands, and maybe now and then that will still be part of the account management process, or maybe to seal the deal, But
Hmm.
there's going to be a lot of people now who are going to be like, well, I don't have to get on a plane and fly. I haven't got to drive 5 hours or 2 hours and go and do a meeting. I'm used to doing it on
Hmm.
Zoom. So why are
Yep.
people going to go back? I know a lot of speakers who love it. The fact that the pandemic has happened because they haven't got to get on planes and travel everywhere anymore. They just got to roll out of bed, stick the Zoom on, stick their top half on, and start speaking.
Yeah, exactly. And I was in a group. I can't remember. I was in an event, and a speaker was speaking, and he charges 25 to $50,000 a speech. And originally that was a weekend. So he'd do, 4 months, and he'd average between 100 to $200,000 a month, which is great money. But now with Zoom and everything that's going on with, StreamYard and AirMeet and everywhere else, he's doing 3 and 4 events a day. So now he's doing $200,000 a week
Yeah.
because he can do it from his house. And he's like, I know it's going to open up and people are going to want me to come back on their stages, but he literally is planning on charging more if you want him there in person.
Yeah. Yeah.
Otherwise, he'll stream in for the original rate. And I think that's going to be the new normal.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. You'll have some local speakers who'll be on the stage, and you'll have the international speakers who'll be on the screen, and it'll be a bit of a combination of the two. And some people will be in the audience, and some will be streaming from the. That's how I see events. The blended
Yep,
approach to event is the way it's going to go.
exactly, exactly. And now I remember all the time, you go to an event that's Friday to Sunday, and you're afraid you're going to miss your Sunday plane. So you always miss the last couple of hours of
Yeah,
that event. It's like,
yeah,
I missed the last 2 hours. And they always put somebody great. Tony Robbins is the last speaker of the day. Really? So you end up staying another day just so you can see Tony Robbins.
yeah,
And now, sign up for the hybrid package. And when you walk out and get into your Uber or your
yeah,
rental car, turn it on and listen on the way to the airport, while you're sitting there waiting for your flight, watch it on Zoom or whatever. And I
yeah.
think that's the way it's going to go.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. That's it. That's why I laugh at people thinking, "Oh, I can't wait for things to go back to normal." They don't understand evolution. They don't understand like change. Like once you let the rabbit out of the box, you can't put it back in. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
It's a new
And you're not
box.
going to get people to volunteer to spend money when they don't need to. I had a client call me and say, she decided that she was tired of doing Zoom calls. And she originally is from Vegas. She's living in Washington, D.C. So she decided she was going to come to Vegas so she could, because she has an event coming up in July, so she could meet with everybody in person. I have a cancer survivor and a first responder in my house. I'm not meeting with anybody in person.
No.
And when she told me that, she basically said, "When do you want to meet?" And I'm like, "It doesn't matter. We're meeting by Zoom. I don't care if you're next door or if you're in Washington, D.C., or you could be in China, as far as I'm concerned. We're meeting by Zoom because I'm not meeting with people in person until it's absolutely safe because I can't take a chance to bring that back into my house.
Hmm.
I just can't." And she couldn't understand that. You know,
No.
I'm flying across the country to come and see you. I didn't ask you to do that.
No.
If you had told me, I'd have told you don't buy the ticket because you won't see me. You
No.
you know, and she
Yeah.
thought I was kidding, but she was actually here last week. She did not see me. She met me on Zoom. I'm
Yeah.
like, this is the new normal for me.
This is it,
This
but
is
yeah,
what
this is
happens.
it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And yeah, I went from doing 3 networking events a week in the real world to doing about 6 to 10 on average, last year. And now I'm doing 24/7 on Clubhouse. I
Hmm.
will go back to some real world events, but, I'm not going to do as many as I did before. And why? I built a global community now, not to just go networking locally. You know what I mean? So
Yep.
it just doesn't make no sense. I'm not going backwards. I'm going
Yep.
forwards. So it's the way it is. But
I'm
anyway,
totally with you.
yeah. So I haven't seen any of your shows, but I'm going to be keen on checking them out. So tell myself and the audience a little bit about the shows. What the premise is and when they're on and how to watch them and all that sort of thing. So that myself included, but others. I love anything to do with business shows anyway. So tell us how we can get involved.
So expert talk is just that. It's expert talk with Tigo. I wanted to speak with experts. We actually have two tiers of our right fit clients or our right fit guests. And basically the first tier is an entrepreneur to an expert level that are working really hard to become experts at whatever it is they do. And then we have another level where it's experts who have built their followings and they're making millions of dollars, or in some cases billions, and they're an authority at what they do. And the whole idea is you come on the show and share your journey. Where did you start? Where are you now? Where are you going? So that they can show their trailblaze and what they've been through and the path. Because as a small business owner, I started my first business when I was 10. So as a small business owner, sometimes you feel really like you're out there by yourself, especially if you don't have entrepreneurs in your family and you're the only one and they all look at you like, literally, what is wrong with you? Um, you want to find other people, your tribe that you can relate to. So I ask them, how did you do it? How did you go from zero to $100 million business? How did you go from being a trash man to making over $10 million a year to charging $25,000 for an hour consultation and showing people how to make $1 million a day. That's a true story. It's Myron Golden, and he truly does do that. And that's exactly who he is. And he was a trash man. And he sat on my show and shared exactly how he did it and why he did it. So if you're sitting at home going, I can't do it, yeah, you can. I don't have the education. There's a whole lot of people that are making. I talked to a young man, he's going to be on my show in a month. He's literally a high school dropout, and he has built not one, but two $100 million businesses. So it's not about your education. It's not about your connections. And that's what Expert Talk is all about. I'm hoping that we blaze a trail big enough that people can see the pitfalls in front of them and accelerate. Things that took me 10 years to learn, I want them to learn it in 10 months, 10 hours, 10 days. I don't care. Just learn it, so that you can get on down the road and not fall the way I fell.
Yeah.
So that's what Expert Talk is about.
Yeah, that's exactly the same mission that I'm on, really, because I've had to work hard all my life. I've struggled, I've worked hard, I put the time in, I put the hours in, and actually what I've learned later on in life is there are other people who've already been there, done it, and got the t-shirt that you can learn off. And actually you can accelerate your learning then. And I actually quite like the fact that I've struggled. I quite like because you really do learn what you need to learn if you go the hard route. But some people want to get there quicker and can, and all you got to do is I say stand on the shoulders of giants. You don't need to become a giant.
Exactly.
Stand on the shoulders of giants and reach much further quicker because of the leverage, so yeah.
Exactly.
So I'm all about
you're
that now.
speaking my language.
Yeah, exactly. Well, everything you just said resonated with me, and that's what that's what I'm all about. That's what my podcast is about, and my content, and it's all about trying to inspire aspiring entrepreneurs and up and coming entrepreneurs and startups and people late to life entrepreneurs and all those people, inspiring them that actually, especially if they're the late to lifers, then they need to stand on the shoulders of giants because they're not going to get there quick enough otherwise. But with the youngsters, they can take their time. They can afford to make some mistakes and whatever, but they just got to be passionate about what they're doing and stick in the game. And I keep teaching them those sort of things as well. So it sounds like a platform that's right up my street. So yeah, I can't wait to have a look at and listen to that Myron Goldman episode.
Yeah, look at Myron Golden. I mean, there's 126 episodes. We've got New York Times bestsellers. We've got people that have made over $100 million. We have a billionaire in there. We have people that have done over $5 billion in wholesale real estate in there. And the great thing is most of those people, I realized, were never asked to be on a show. They were never asked to share their journey. They figured nobody cared to hear it. Nobody wants to hear my story. Oh yeah, we do. And you just ask them and they will tell you. And you can look back at their journey and go, wow, this is when he did this. This is when she did that. This is when they changed gears. So we come from television. We didn't start in podcasts. We didn't start in, Clubhouse and Facebook and all of that. We started in television, and we're a television broker. We can put shows on any network, anywhere in the country and probably in the world. Yeah. So for us, social media is the cherry on top. We go after the television audience. So when I started the show, we were in 35 markets on traditional television in America. We're on hiatus right now. We'll be back next month. We're available in 7 million households in the US, and we averaged about 100,000 viewers when we first got started. Now we average about 500,000 viewers a week. Our goal is to get to 1 million viewers a week by the end of the year, if not more. We wanted to be on as many platforms as possible so people could find us. So we just got picked up on Pandora. So we're on Pandora, iTunes, Amazon Fire, iHeart, Amazon Music, Roku, it goes on and on and on. And last April, we were afforded the opportunity to be able to go on Amazon Prime. It took us until August to get through all the red tape, but the show is now on Amazon Prime. We're available to 92 million subscribers of Amazon Prime in the US and throughout Europe. We're currently working on trying to get on the Asian markets and trying to get into the German markets of Amazon Prime, but we're there. So people can watch it pretty much on any platform. You name it, we're kind of there.
Do you have to get it translated for those sort of German market and Chinese market? Does it get dubbed for that?
We will dub it if they
Yeah.
allow it, because we dub for other clients for their media. We can dub into 23 languages, and we also get it transcribed in closed caption. So because we're a tech company first, I mean, I'm a tech geek. I keep to
Yeah.
that, and because of that, we do all that and take care of it. So that's one of the things that was one of the hiccups is like, how are you going to handle the language? But my second home for quite some time, from 2005 to about 2012 or so, my second home was Hong Kong. So I have a lot of connections in China and Asia. When I was in the Navy, I was stationed in the Philippines. My business partner is Filipino. I found out recently through 23andMe, I'm an adopted child. So I found out recently that I'm 18% Filipino. So I've lived all over the world, and we try to make it as compatible as we can for everyone. We convert some people's podcasts to other languages just for YouTube, because people don't realize that 75% of the people on YouTube don't speak English.
No.
So if you've got a podcast that has 1,000 viewers, you're in English, if you just add Spanish and maybe Mandarin and Cantonese, your audience can explode in other markets without you even having to create new content. So we do a lot of that kind of stuff too.
Yeah, you'll have to email me about those services, because I know loads of podcasters, and obviously being one myself, yeah, it'd be interesting having a look at that, and maybe even being a reseller of those services in the UK, because I've got 5 websites and lots of services on there and stuff. So I could either white label the service and sell it, or I could introduce it and get a commission or like an affiliate or something. Either
Yeah,
or
yeah,
commercially.
definitely. I'll definitely reach you out to you. We also have this awesome AI that we're going to drop pretty soon that is a real voice. It's not mechanical. I don't know if you listen. I mean, if you listen to Siri, she sounds real. But if you listen to some of the AI voices that's on the internet, they sound kind of mechanical, and you
Yeah.
know they're not real. And we just got brought into this technology that literally are human voices simulated, so we can do audiobooks for people if they want to do audiobooks, and actually do those in like 5 or 6 different languages. I think it is. I know it's English, Spanish, Mandarin, German, Cantonese. There's a couple of more that are in there, and it's an AI voice. You can pick young or old, male or female, funny or professionally serious, and just let them run. It's the coolest thing ever, and we love that kind of stuff. That's my home. I live in the world of tech, so if I can find it, we will partner up or buy them out or something.
Well, I love with that. I love that sort of tech stuff as well. So, like at the moment, I'm looking for a good transcriber to stick all my podcast episodes through that comes out with the content, so I can put it on my blogs. And also something in reverse, you can send your blogs to, and then it reads it out in audio, and you can put it on your YouTube or your podcast or whatever. Those are 2 things I'm looking for at the moment. So again, if you can help out with those things, then let me know that as well. But because I was listening to an author the other day who sells a lot of books around the world, because she does translation services to a lot of people on her own work from English to Spanish and Mandarin and whatever. And also she works with other authors and does that as well. She's a translation service and an author. And so she gets like best-selling authors and good authors and that sort of thing to go much bigger by just producing the book in different languages.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it triples, quadruples. It's really no limit by you having it in another language. Even if you've got 10 videos on your YouTube channel, put it in another language so that people in other countries can check it out. So yeah, it definitely opens your world. It really does.
Yeah, definitely. And as a global podcaster and a connector of lots of people, I meet global podcasters all the time, constantly, especially on Clubhouse. And I reckon there'd be a big market for that service. So, and I've just through a partnership taken on podcast publishing and marketing services, which I'm white labeling on behalf of someone else who's doing them for me. I've just taken on someone to do that for me myself, yeah, and I'm white labeling that. as a service now and offering it to other podcasters. And so everything that you've described there now, what you're doing, would fit in with that. I'm looking to, I've got a marketing agency, but I'm looking to make it more focused on podcasting and YouTubing and more sort of audio, video marketing than just
Hmm.
marketing as a differentiator, because there's a lot of marketing companies out there doing a lot the same thing. And because like I'm a good speaker and I'm a podcaster and I'm doing the YouTube anyway, I might as well niche into that area, because there's less marketing companies that specialize in that area than they do in the social media marketing area, which is where I've been for the last like 9 years.
Hmm.
So yeah, so
Yeah, I mean,
actually,
that's awesome. Yeah, any way we can help, I'll definitely send you an email and we can talk about that. But that's our base. That's my home.
yeah,
Technology is my home. And I'm getting really, really comfortable with doing this. This is becoming a passion of mine, to
yeah,
be on camera and share people's message, and if I can help. And today seems to be Europe Day, because I spoke in London this morning virtually, and now I'm honored to be here with you, and you're in Wales. So it's like, my parents have both passed on, but I know they're somewhere right now going, "That's my baby." That's my baby,
well,
because I never dreamed of doing anything like this, and it's amazing.
yeah, well, I got a friend who's a podcaster in Scotland as well, Edinburgh. So I can get you Scotland, and I got loads of friends who are podcasters in Ireland. So I can get you the whole United Kingdom.
I'm 37% Irish, I found out.
Oh, is it? Oh, there we are then. So, well, a mate of mine would love to get you on. His name is Pete Launton. They call him Mighty Pete. Yeah. And he's got a
Okay.
podcast called the Fire in the Belly podcast. And it's
Oh, that's a cool
basically,
name.
yeah, it's basically about how you find your passion, how, what you did to find your passion, and then what you did with it once you found it. Yeah. So it's a really, really good podcast. So I can direct you to Pete, no problem. And I know a few other podcasters. I know someone who deals with empowering family health. So if you like to talk about health and well-being and family health, especially, I know a podcast that deals with that. So and I know another one called Partially Sighted. He's a blind podcaster, and he likes to get people on and talk about their superpowers and stuff. So your superpower would be, computer language or tech or whatever. So yeah, I know quite a lot of Irish podcasters, Scottish, so I can make that happen for you if
That
you'd
would be
like
awesome.
to. Yeah, okay.
That
Well,
would be fantastic. Please, I would love it. Thank you so much.
yeah, well,
That would be
I'll
fantastic.
do those introductions on Instagram when we finish. But
Yeah,
yes,
that
so
would be, thank you. I
yeah,
appreciate it. I really, really do. And it's like, I can't wait to have you come on to my show, and let's dig in and just have a good time, because I want people to see you. I want people to know what's going on, and I mean, what you're doing, I couldn't imagine. I'm tired just thinking about it. 1,000 episodes in a year. Just wake me up when it's over. There's no way I could have ever done it. There's not enough vitamin C in the world to make that happen. So I'm super proud of you. I'm gonna tell you right now, as a
oh,
producer,
thanks.
I am super proud of you, because recently, last month, I think it was last month, we did International Women's Day. Yeah, it was in March. And I interviewed 25 women, 15-minute episodes, ran for 8 hours, and people thought I was crazy. You're what? What are you doing? We did them live. We did 15
Yeah.
minute interviews live, and they thought it was absolutely nuts. And I'm sitting here going, my little 25 episodes don't mean anything when you look at Michael's 985 or wherever you are right now.
I think I'm about
Wow.
990 now. I think I'm about 990. I've been cramming them in the last couple of days.
Woo.
I did about 350 joint episodes with other people, which are between 45 minutes and, believe it or not, the longest is probably about 2 hours. Yeah. But on average, they used to be on average 45 minutes, but mostly now, especially the last 70, which have come from Clubhouse, they tend to be an hour. Yeah, because we tend to have more in common, because I'm really resonating with the same like-minded people on Clubhouse, and they're all talkers like me. That's why they're on Clubhouse, because they like to talk. So, so like they're getting to be at least an hour now. They used to be 45 minutes. I used to have 15 minutes in between my schedule to go and have something to eat and use the loo, and now I'm like literally one off and back onto another one. Well, I'm glad when somebody bumps me, because then I get a bit of time. I get a bit of time to go and eat or
Woo.
something.
I've been a member of Clubhouse since December,
Yeah,
and I probably got 100 followers. I've spoken on Clubhouse twice, I think. I just have not taken the time to really dig into it. And I want to start a room. I said, I'm going to do it before the end of April. I'm going to do it. And just because I know once it gets on my schedule, I'm prior military, it's
Yeah,
like, boom,
once it's
that's
on,
it.
it's on. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, once it's on, it's on. And then I will arrange things around it.
yeah.
But, you know, otherwise, it's kind of like, you know, things that I know I need to do. I need to go clean out my
Yeah,
garage.
yeah.
At some
Yeah,
point,
so
I'll get around
it's on
to
the
it.
to-do list, but
Yeah,
it's not a fixed, it's not a goal, it's not a date and a time set goal. But
yeah, for
it's just a
me,
wish. It's a wish. But
yeah,
what
yeah,
I tend to do is I challenge myself. So I say, right, I'm going to do this for 30 days or 75 days or whatever, 90 days. And then I set in an alarm in my phone to remind me for a while until I get into the habit. So it just pops up,
yeah,
with an alert, I book it out and set an alarm to a series. And then after like a week or two, I'm in the habit and I don't need the alarm anymore. Switch the alarm off, turn it off, blah, blah, blah. But at the same time as doing this 1,000 episodes and the record breaking attempt, which I'm doing on the podcast, I also started YouTubing and I also started doing lots of networking. I did a hashtag 75 hard challenge last summer whilst doing all these episodes, which is
ooh,
basically 5 things that people struggle to do on their own for a month. I did for 5 at a time for 75 days. And then I did a 79-day challenge this year on Clubhouse to keep it going 24/7, the room open 24/7 for 79 days. And I'm now on day 83. So,
that's it.
so
From now on, I'm calling you the ever ready bunny. You ever see those commercials with the bunny and he's running
yeah.
around? That's you. You
So,
got a
so
battery in your back, I think.
my, my,
That's
my, my Irish
I
network,
can't do it.
they call me the ever ready buddy, the gold seal buddy on speed.
Yeah, because that's what you are. Every time I see that bunny from now on, I'm gonna think of Mike because it's just like boom, boom, boom. But I gotta ask. I know this is your show, but I gotta turn in the host for just a second and ask you, what are you doing for your 1,000th episode? Are you gonna do something big? Are you gonna invite a bunch of guests back and do like a big room?
So
What are you gonna do for your 1,000 episode?
I've been trying to get hold of a big guest and do a big episode, that's what I've been trying to
Mhm.
do. But it's a struggle, it's hard trying to get a big guest, so, and especially it's hard when you've been doing a 79-day, now 84 challenge on Clubhouse, where you're pretty much focused on Clubhouse. Other than
Mhm.
the only time I'm not on Clubhouse is when I'm doing podcast episodes like we are now, or when I'm eating or doing something like that. So I haven't been able to focus on it. So I've only got 7 days left now. So I was thinking I'm going to get a big star. I'm going to get a big act on, I was thinking I'd love Brian Tracy or someone like that.
Ooh,
Tony Robbins for the numbers. Brian
ooh.
Tracy because he's the one I like to listen to most out of all the personal development people. I'd love somebody like that on there, but yeah, I haven't I've just been too busy to really focus on it. And for me, just the guests, to me, all entrepreneurs are quality people. They've all got a good story to tell. They've all got good value. So, it's not important to me to have that big guest. I'll have big guests over the years. Anyway, I've had some big guests on anyway. I've had Bob Berg on, who's author of the Go Giver, Hall of Fame speaker and all that. So, I've
Uh-huh.
had him on, and I've got yourself on as well, producer and TV, host and all that. I'm starting to work my way up through the guest sort of names, if you like. But to me, if you're an entrepreneur, it doesn't matter what you're making, doesn't matter what you're doing. To me, you're an awesome individual. You're living life on your terms. You're giving it a go. You know what I mean? I don't care. To me, it doesn't matter what the numbers are or whatever. There's somebody who is, attacking life. You know what I mean? They're having a go at life, and that's all. To me, is the important thing. It doesn't really matter what they make or not. It's like I'm not money motivated myself. I'd rather make an impact and a legacy than a load of zeros in the bank because you can't take the zeros with you anyway. All you can do with them is actually make a difference to people's lives. So I just
Yep.
think, well, just make a difference to people's lives. You don't need to have loads of money in the bank to make a difference to people's lives. You can make a difference by, just providing value day in, day out to everyone you meet, which is my strategy of life, really, is just to give people value,
Well, if you decide to do a party or do a multicast and have a bunch of people come in, let me know, man. I'll clear up my schedule. I'll drop in because
Yeah.
doing 1,000 episodes, we all need to stand up together and applaud you. because I mean, it'll be 10 years before I hit 1,000 episodes with experts on. So, if you decide to do something like that, then let me know, because I would be honored to just drop in on your call and
Yeah.
drop a couple of words with you and hang out. Because when Jennifer told me that, I said, what? That it's got to be a typo. You mean 90? She said, no, 900. I'm like, no, you misheard. 90. She said, no, 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 900. And I went, in 10 years, in 5 years, how long? She said, oh no, since like last March.
Yeah. Yeah.
It just
Well,
blew my mind.
yeah,
And
I thought
and
it was
and
March. I thought it started in the pandemic, but it was the 20th of April. So my
oh
anniversary is
wow.
Monday, the 19th of April. Yeah, Monday the 19th at midnight is my deadline for getting the 1,000 done. And I think I'm on about 990 now, something like that. So I got 10 more to go in 3 days. But if I
I'm
don't
so
get,
I'm so proud of you, man. That's awesome. And I'm honored that you included me, in your journey. This is something I'll put in my journal as a mile marker for me to be a part of something like this. Because people will look back for years and say, this man did this in a
yeah,
year, while you're saying you can't create a podcast a week or a podcast a month. I know people that can't, oh, I don't have time. I know I
yeah,
need to do it, but I can't do a podcast every month. It's like, dude, it's an hour out of your schedule
yeah.
for a month, and you're doing 1,000 in a year. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
man.
But
Hats off
I'll
to
probably
you.
do a little celebration on Clubhouse or something in my room, and I'm going to do a press release and stick it on all my blogs and all of that, and try and get it out to some podcast magazines and all that sort of stuff. Maybe some media magazines, some entrepreneur ones, whatever. And then I'm going to drop my level down to about 3 a week then for next year, so about 150 a year. And I'm going to market all the 1,000 that I've done for this year, because I've marketed them all once and that's it. So I'm going to go back through. I'm going to create a guest directory on my website and put all the details in and links to the site and all of that. And then I'm going to repurpose so I'll do that probably for a year, spend another year marketing all of last year's one and creating the 150 for that year. And then I'll spend a year repurposing it all and editing it and creating shorter content and all that sort of from it. And that's my plan, my strategy. And obviously I want to try and get it stamped as a record. So I need to contact the Guinness World Records. I've searched for the record and I can't find it. So I think it's going to be a world record, but if it's not, it'll be a European record or a UK record, or it'll be a record of some sort, but it could be.
I can't imagine anybody's done more than 1,000 in a year. I cannot imagine that. If it is, I want to know who that person is and if they're still here,
Yeah.
because you need all kinds of energy to do what you're doing. People don't realize that, oh, you're just talking. Try it. Try just talking all day long and see how tired you are. I played sports. I was in the military. I did all that stuff in my life. Doing this is much more taxing than playing basketball for 3 hours, swimming for 5 hours, whatever, because your brain is constantly going. And especially if you get a guest that is not comfortable on the camera, not comfortable on the mic, you got to drag them through, because they're giving you one word answers. It's like, how are you? I am fine.
Yeah.
Okay, and that just gets your brain just kind of like, oh. So
Well,
yeah, to do this, man, I am proud of you.
yeah,
That's
well, at
awesome.
some point as well, actually, you might be able to help me with this, because my strategy was as well, is that I've basically documented the pandemic from an entrepreneur's point of view. Yeah, because I've done like 350 interviews with guests. The other 650 are just me talking into the podcast. Like, yeah. So the 350 interviews are with guests, and especially the first like half of the year, it was all about how people pivoted and what they've done to change their business and all of that. The second half is more about, I got bored asking about pivoting all the time then, because it was the same sort of start of everyone. But really, so
Hmm.
what I was thinking was, like, in the future, all this content in the future could be turned into a documentary when they want to go back into the history of what happened in the pandemic and all of that.
Ooh.
Yeah. So
Wow.
that's what I was thinking, is that, in years to come, people will want to contact me and be like, oh, have you got that content from all that, all those interviews and stuff? We want to, that's what the future will look like, because that's what the present is now about the World War of the past. And this is our World War. This is the World War against the pandemic, against the virus, So, so that's something which I've been thinking about doing as well, is how do I, edit and cut the content and make a really good sort of documentary series, about the pandemic and about entrepreneurial
that's
spirit.
the hardest part is, I tell everybody the most expensive part about production is editing.
Yeah.
The next most expensive thing is transcribing. If you go to like rev.com, I think they're $1.25 a spoken minute to transcribe it, so it can get really expensive, really, really fast. You're looking at $40 or something for a 30-minute show. That can get really, really expensive really fast. And that's the hardest part. I know editors that charge $20 an hour. I know editors that charge $500 an hour. Mind you, they worked on Star Wars, so they earned their $500 an hour. But that's where the question is.
I know a crazy dude who works like his butt off and is willing to learn, so I could probably just edit it myself. It'd take me a year, but I just put it together myself, because where there's a will, there's a way. That's
melting down that data is where you're gonna really run into the wall. It's like you got to get it all melted down so that it becomes bite-sized, even if it becomes a documentary series. If you've got 1,000 interviews, you literally have enough to do 100 shows, 100 episodes of this documentary. That's a lot, so to be able to bring that down to bite size so that people can grab hold to it. And then you can put people in clusters. The interviews can go in clusters. These are people that are pivoting. These are people that are chefs. These are influencers, and they all become different seasons.
Yeah, well, that's it. Well, I could have like the Irish entrepreneurs, the UK entrepreneurs, the American entrepreneurs, the Canadian entrepreneurs, the fitness entrepreneurs, the coaches, the speakers, the podcasters. Yeah. So you can create so much content out of it, and that's how I'm always thinking in layers, and the next step up, the next step up, the next step up. So to me, it's just, these are the steps. These are I look, because I always start at the end point and work backwards. So these are all just the next steps to get to where you need to get to, which is global domination.
It's like when you're done with it, you're gonna have, that's a pot of $1 million or more, probably $10 million, because of what you've managed to collect, and where those people have gone since then.
Well, that's the big one. That's the big one, isn't it? Once they all get, because I'm interviewing what I would consider to be the next layer behind the top layer.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously, some of that next layer is going to rise to the top layer, and take their space.
You can say you knew them when, that you interviewed them before they got that multi-million-dollar contract, before they were on the biggest stages in the world, before they were in this movie with, whomever. It's like you knew them well, and when, and then that becomes something that other media agencies want to buy. I've been contacted by quite a few media agencies. I've never done it, but during COVID, for entertainers that I interviewed over the years, with my shows, not me personally, but with my shows, and I own the content, and those entertainers, passed away from COVID or whatever in the last year, and they wanted those interviews. And I'm like, no, I'm not, that's not what it's about. But that's what they look for. It's like, you become this library. Did you interview blah blah blah? Yeah, here, we'll give you 10,000 pounds to give us that interview. And it becomes an actual, like, an investment for yourself. To have that kind of data.
Yeah, also as well, I give a lot of advice to people because I love helping them. So, I've got documented evidence, that I give them a strategy that maybe help them to go and achieve that thing or whatever. Because I'm a big thinker. I'm always giving people, oh, have you thought about this? Have you thought about that? Why haven't you started your hashtag yet? Why haven't you done a podcast? Whatever, you know what I mean? I'm constantly, because I'm a layered person, I'm constantly looking at someone where they're at and going, well, tell them about the next step, to give them the next layer. I was lucky. I was part of a corporate fast growth fintech startup business that grew from no turnover to 25 million turnover in 10 years, and now 125 million turnover in 20 years. I left them 9 years ago, and I grew my own department from 7 people and 300 grand to 17 people and 5.7 million in just 8 years, which was 20 times growth. So I've been to a lot of places, a lot of businesses I've never been to, and I did it in a 10-year period, which means I can see the future for other people's businesses that they can't see themselves because they've never been there before. And that's where my vision comes from. It's just experience at the end of the day.
That's crazy. I mean, the stories you can tell. I'm gonna tell you what a friend of mine told me. Stop giving it away for free and start coaching people. And I was like, oh, nobody wants to pay me to be a coach. And yeah, they do, because they want to know the information. You can help them get there faster. Can they get there without you? Yeah. But you could accelerate their process by a year, 10 years, just by being their coach. So you might want to start coaching them and stop giving it away.
I've been looking at I've been looking at a Kajabi platform. At some point, I'm going to have a subscription service and have an entrepreneur academy. I've already come up with a happiness formula, which I want to give away for free because I don't want to charge people to be happy. I just want to give it to them. But I've got a success formula as well, which is teaching people the 7 pillars of success as I see it. Yeah, to get them to grow through life, and that's what I'm going to be teaching. That's what I'm going to talk about on stages. And I've got a big plan and a big strategy. I just got to hustle my way through it because unless you've got the budget and whatever to start with, you've got to hustle through the levels, you know what I mean. But at some point, the reason I'm doing the 1,000 episodes is because I want to get a big sponsor. So I want to make enough waves that I can get a big sponsor, so that the sponsor benefits off all that work. And then I can carry on producing content in luxury and with the equipment and all that sort of stuff, because the sponsor's getting the benefits from it, So everything I do is to a plan,
I love it. It's awesome. I love it. I mean, I'm so glad that we got to meet and just share a moment. I can't wait to watch you grow. I can't wait to see what you're going to do next. Please don't tell me it's going to be 10,000 episodes in 2 years or something like that. But I can't wait to see what's next.
I'm already on day 84 of my Clubhouse, and I'm already on day 84 of the 24/7 room on Clubhouse, and I'm planning on doing that room indefinitely. I'm not giving myself a deadline. I'm just going to do it for as long as I can do it.
I have to come over there and check that out. I want to be you when I grow up, man. I want to be you.
Well, maybe we can help each other somehow, and you can get a bit of me because I need a bit of the tech of you. So we find some way of leveraging some of what each other's got to help each other grow, because that's what I'm all about, is how we can collab together to help each other get to where we want to get to,
Sounds like a plan to me. I'm in.
Yeah.
You're in, I'm in.
Brilliant. So just to leave it, because we're coming up to the hour now, and I got someone else sat in the waiting room. So
Okay.
just to leave it on a factual basis, tell everyone a little bit about how they engage with you, where they can get your show again, and anything else you want to leave them with, really.
We're on almost every platform, but the easiest way to get in touch with us or check out the show is just go to experttalk.fm. Experttalk.fm. All the latest shows are there, information about being a guest, ways to get in touch with me. All of that is on experttalk.fm. And I thank you so much for having me on your show. It's been a pleasure and it's been a lot of fun. This hour flew by. I hope we can do it again. And I definitely want you to come over and be on our show too.
Yeah, brilliant. Well, let me know when we can do the show, and we'll definitely do it again, because I love tech talk and I love podcasting and media and all that sort of stuff. So I'd love to go deep dive into an area or something next time. Now we've got to know each other, and we know what we're all about. Maybe you can let me know a particular subject matter that you might want to put out there for other people to know what you do, and then we can deep dive on that and showcase you to another audience in another particular area that you excel in.
I love it. Thank you so much. And I want to do the same and extend the same invitation to you as well. I have a feeling this is the first of many things we're going to do together, and episodes we'll do in each other's shows. And who knows, maybe we'll do a marathon day, mister, not year, day together.
Yeah, why not?
And just have a blast.
Yeah, well, maybe for something like I don't know if there's an entrepreneur's day, but something like that, maybe, yeah, something like that. I'm always up for a challenge anyway. So if ever you hear of any challenges and you want to, take part in it and you need some help or whatever, I'm down. So yeah,
Awesome. I feel the same. I feel the
great.
same. I'll let you run to your next. Are you there?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It just froze, it did.
Okay.
But yeah, well, thanks very much for coming on anyway, and have yourself a great day. And I look forward to the next time.
Same here. Same here. Have a great day or great night in your case.
Yeah. Okay. Bye bye.
Bye bye.